Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. If you like my videos, give them a thumbs up and subscribe. It's a beautiful day here in New Hampshire. Like the spring is in the air and everything. And finally I feel like a new person because my tooth isn't bothering me. So we're on here today to finish this beauty up. I pulled, let's see, a bunch of different, excuse me, laces and things that I thought might look nice. So there were a few things that I really wanted to do, and I thought one of them was create some type of pretty trim here. So let's kind of play around and see what we like and what we can come up with. So, and again, it takes a little tweaking and a little playing around, and it's almost like trying on clothes in a dressing room. You got to try everything on because you just don't really know. I kind of like this. I'm just going to leave it on one side. It's simple, and we kind of have to figure out which avenue we want to take with this. Do we want it super fancy? Do we want it more simple with just a bow and that flower? I don't know where I put it, in the middle. Or do we want to make it more elaborate? So here's this little bow. So we can keep it kind of simple, and we can add, let's see how this looks. Add like a ruffle on the bottom here if we wanted to. We could do definitely something like this, and then add maybe another coordinating lace. Let's see how this would look over the top, just to cover that bare spot. We could do something like this and then cover the sides and have that hanging. Cover the sides of these. Just, I think this makes it look like it goes, whoops, the dress kind of blends in with the dress, and it kind of makes it so it's not such a severe jump to the next. So we could do something just like this, or we could take it and do it not as casual, not casual, I can't think of the word for it. Yeah, I guess casual, and make it more like a step more into elegance. And I got this beautiful, beautiful, let's see, lace. And I thought we could always do this too. But then it kind of takes away, I think, from, whoops, I keep hitting this thing. I got to figure this out. Then it kind of takes away, I think, from the beauty of this fabric. And that I really don't want to do. But I'm just going to kind of show you how you can pull this up and make this part of the waist. And you could even make the gown longer. See if we did this, look how gorgeous that would look. And we could even add these on top for the sleeves if we wanted to. I have another one somewhere. You know, I have everything ready, and then I go on camera and I seem to lose everything. Who else is like that? So we could do this if we wanted to as the top sleeves, or play around with them however we want. But again, I'm not sure I want to go that route because this fabric is exquisite. And I kind of want to utilize that fabric so we can see it and would miss the polka dots inside. So there was another thought I was thinking. Let's see. We could add this here and just add a little bit of the glitz to it. And then I also cut some of these out as well. So I'm not quite sure if I was crazy about these on here if I'm adding this. And we could still add, I even thought of doing this on the bottom and bunching it up and making it more kind of shabby, chic looking, but yet simple and elegant. So we could pleat this on the bottom like this. Whoop. If we wanted to. So you'd fold that under right there and just start to glue. And then you'd, you know, I kind of like that look, and just giving it just a little bit of bling. Kind of makes it really look nice, I think, and ties it together. And let's see, and then we could always add, like I wanted to add some lace. We could add some lace either going this way or this direction to kind of just cover up that seam area. I kind of like that look, and I mean, we could have even done something like this. But I kind of think that the simple looks better. Let's see this one. That is kind of cute too. So let's do the bottom. And it's funny because before I started this video, I had a whole different idea in my head. And now I'm going to kind of go with this idea. Adding this ruffle on the bottom. Because I kind of think that this eyelet really matches nice with this. So let's try that out. Worst case scenario, I rip it off if I don't like it. So I'm going to fold this piece under just so it looks more finished. And I'm going to glue just a little bit on there. Just like that. And maybe a little bit here just so it tucks. There we go. And then you just want to add just a little bit and bring it over and add a little bit on the bottom. And again, I'm probably going to burn my finger. And then you want to add a little bit here. You just want to be aware too of the bottom, but we can always trim that a little bit too as we go. And you want to keep in mind, too, the size of your journal cover, because you also want this to fit on your journal cover. I mean, I think it would actually be pretty if you hung a little down off the edge of the journal. So you guys have the idea of this part. So I'm going to speed this up a little bit and come back and show you when I have this all ruffle. Here we are at the end. So what we're going to do, we're going to cut the piece. And of course, I don't have my fabric scissors here, so just bear with me. These are dull. I actually have a scissor sharpener. I've never tried it. I think I'm going to pull that puppy out and try it. So you want to roll this piece back just to give it a finished edge like we did in the very beginning. So take this, tuck it, and then we're gonna adhere that down like this. So it's not perfectly even, but when we add our lace, it'll look better. And I probably should have pulled this down a little bit. And the beauty about this is you kind of can if you really wanted to. But let's see. Whoops. All my laces are knotting together. So do we like this? I kind of like that on here. It just, I think it kind of looks like it belongs. What do you think? But see, we can kind of straighten it out when we add the lace on there. So let's add that. on there. And I'm just going to go along the top edge. I'm going to leave a little bit of overhang so I can tuck this little piece underneath. Let's see. If I hit that camera one more time. And with hot glue, you only want to do a little bit at a time because it does dry fast. Should be using my spatula. Let me grab my fabric scissors so I don't get frustrated with the other scissors, and I've got glue all over my fingers. So we're going to give that a trim, and again, give it a little length so we can tuck it under. Let's go to the back. Oops, I dropped an applique. Let's go to the back and just put a little glue there. I'm sticking to everything now. I might have to go peel the glue off my hands before I go any further. And I probably should have done this one a little bit longer, but I try not to waste. There. So I'm not crazy about that it's not that even looking, but you know what? I think it still looks pretty. Do I pull it? You know what? This is kind of frustrating me at this point. So let me just pull this. You know what? I'm going to leave it. I'm going to leave it and not be so picky about my stuff. So now we got to figure out if we want to add this trim here to match this, or do we want to do that other one that I liked? I kind of like this one. Something pretty about this. The simplicity of it. I don't know if you guys can see. Let me pull this up a little bit. Oops. See? It's just kind of delicate looking. And I think I'd use my Fabri-Tac on this. What do you say? This is really driving me crazy. I think I'm going to pull this side and bring it down a little further. So I'll show you how I do that. Because I use the glue gun, I just heat the glue gun. Use the tip of the glue gun to heat the glue back up and pull it back. It is time consuming, but it does work. So I'll go back and just heat as I go, just so you can see how I do this. See, and it just pulls. Just that tip. That's why the glue gun's easier to use. It's more forgiving than the Fabri-Tac glue or the Beacon 3-in-1, whatever. So I'm going to go and finish pulling this off and straightening it out, and I'll be back. That part off, and I'm going to go ahead and remove this part and bring it down a little bit further, just so it's more even. Here, I just pulled it because I didn't want to interrupt the pleats that I did, because I like those. So I just kind of pulled it. So now I can pull this down a little bit, and I think I'm going to like it a little better. So let me do that. I think I'll do that side so we can make sure it's even this time. Just adding a little glue underneath and pulling it down just a hair. All right, now I'm happier with that. So now I can kind of just go back and put this back down. And I might have to pull this up a little bit on this side. And again, I think I'm being too much of a perfectionist on this. Because they're junk journals. They're not perfect journals, right? I kind of like to show you guys, too, that I'm not perfect. I think it's important to show everybody that, you know, my ideas don't always work. So that's a little better. And I'm not going to really fuss with this because I think it's fine. So our next step is going to be, we're going to add this trim here. And like I said, I'm going to use the Fabri-Tac glue for this. I don't know if there's a right way or a wrong way of this one. I think this might be the right way. If you could ever get little dainty laces like this, I love them. I use them a lot. I'd say grab them if you can. I really like the little dainty ones. Or do we want to... Here I go again. I have a bigger one too. That we can... See, we can keep adding to this if we want to. The bottom. Looks pretty too. And I just don't want to cover up too much of this fabric. We can add something like that. I don't like that. I think the smaller, daintier one is better. Another dainty one that I kind of like too. These kind of would be pretty for the top. This. See, this is how I work. I jump all over. Maybe my ADHD, but how cute. That's kind of cute. Or we could trim it. We could do the whole trim. Like that. I like that, but I think I'm going to stick to what I wanted to do in the first place. And that was add this. Now let's see if my Fabri-Tac will cooperate. I'm going to start from the bottom and just slightly just drag it up just a little. This doesn't dry as fast. It still dries fast, but not as fast. So let's start here and just give it a little work down until we can get this the way we like it. Because once this is down, that Fabri-Tac is hard to pull up, and I want to cover that seam. I just think give it more of a finished look. Oops. And we're going to cut there. And you want to try to find an area where you can cut it so it doesn't look like you're cutting it. And I just cut it at the end of this little loop. And we're going to just put a little glue there and tuck that down. And it kind of just blends in. Oops. It's because I have so much glue on my fingers. Let's pop that up there. So let me show you. Let's do the other side. And you guys don't have to watch me do that other side, so I'll be right back. So there. That part's done. I left this kind of hanging loosely, so I'm just going to tack this down. Or maybe the glue. I didn't put enough glue. And more than likely, whatever we're going to add here, you're not going to see these two in the top. So it doesn't matter if it doesn't look finished. Because my other thought was giving it just a little bit of bling. Just a little. And I think I'm going to play with this a little more and see if that's what we really want to do. And do we want to add... I definitely think we'll add this because this is like a trim almost. It's very pretty. So, ladies, I've made a decision that to make things easier for me and probably for you, because I have a lot of kits that I'm making up, I'm going to open an Etsy store and direct everybody to my Etsy store to purchase. I think the email stuff is kind of more difficult for me. So that's what I'm working on too. And that's going to take me a little bit of time and to get all my sets up. And what's going to happen is all my tutorials, you won't get any written directions. All my tutorials will be my YouTubes, just like we have. So that way, you know, if someone can't afford the needle keep kit right away, you can always go and buy it and then go back and watch my video and do it. So I think that's what I'm going to do. And if the price seems a little higher, I have to, I'm going to incorporate the shipping just to make it easier. So that way it's one payment and the shipping is covered. So that I'm going to try to do that. So I'm going to first get it up on the site and then I'll play around with the shipping and see how that works for me. But my goal is to get it up on the site first. And then we can go from there. I like that. I just don't like how this sleeve came out like that. So I want to try to find a way to kind of cover the sleeve. When I had this before, I was going to add that trim on the bottom, but I just think it was too much. What if we cut a little piece and use this as our sleeve? Let's see. And that way I can cover that sleeve that I didn't care for. What do you think of that? And I would put it on an angle because when you have your sleeve, it is a little bit on that angle. I like that. So to make them so they're the same, I'm going to cut it. So as you can see, the possibilities are endless. I want to make them the same size so they look uniform on both sides. The possibilities are really endless with this. And we could even go and add this little lace through the middle. Let me tack this down and see. Put a little on that sleeve. Give it a little twist just so it's not sticking straight up. So it's kind of puffing down. And if we really wanted to coordinate with that top, we could add this right here in that middle. So let's see. Let's do this side. Oh, I'll find something because I think it may need something. Just not quite sure what yet. Oop. So I figured you can always add a little glue, and if you need to go back, you can add more. This stuff is great though. You can just kind of pull it off. I sit at night and pull it off my hands. So let's just put this here and then I can turn it and give it that little angle that I'm looking for. Let's pull this one down a little. There. And I do like that there. Just to give it a little bit, I mean, I love this as well. And I think I just ruined the bow that I made. But we can decide. I just think it's too much. I kind of like, it's going to take away from all that beautiful fabric. I mean, it does look gorgeous, but this really looks beautiful, I think. And then, I mean, if I wanted to, I could add this on the top, or I could add a pearl right there, which would look gorgeous too. So we're gonna attach this down on here. Whoops. And I'm wondering if we should add a little tulle under there. Let me go grab some. We could add a little of this tulle. Whoops, wrong way. But you know what? I don't think it's necessary because we have this up here. You know, when I thought of making a little drape down here. This is also from, Odulcina Scrap. I got in my little kit. Oh, my fingers look too big. So, I mean, I could have even, oh, you know what? That's a little too big, though, if I did something like this. And added it under here. I could do that. Where's that piece I just cut? Let's see if this looks. If we gathered it here and just pocket it, I could trim it on the ends. We could do this and add a little underneath here, and then just give it a little trim. Or we can even just wrap it around this. You can see I'm kind of determined to use this. What if we did that and we did that? I like that. I like that. Let's do that. So I'm going to put a dot in the middle here of this glue, and that pink underneath it pulls it out. I think the glue gun might be better for this. I should have my spatula. You know what? Let me grab it. And I have these little ones too, which really work well. Let me see. I have so many, I'll probably end up adding some on my Etsy page in the packages. I'll show you. These little ones right here. And it just helps because the big one's big for me unless I'm doing a big project. Oh, I said I wasn't going to use that, didn't I? I said I was going to use this. Oh, we'll have double insurance glue here. So, just going to take this and bunch it. Like this. Let's do the other side. Give it a little ruffle. Thank you, Anne on Odulcina, for teaching me how to do this and using the spatula or something silicone, because it makes it so the glue doesn't stick to your hands and you don't burn your fingers. How many of you burnt your fingers doing this? I've burnt it and my fingers endlessly. There. So that just gave it a little more depth. So when I add this, we've got to figure out how we want to add it. Do we want to add it going down like this? Or do we want to add it going up like this? That kind of gives this top a little more something. So I think I'm going to add it that way. And just a little bit at a time. I got to learn to speed up these things. I know people, when they're doing YouTube, I'll have to look, and you can speed parts up that are boring. So I'm going to try to do that and see if I can speed it up a little. But I just want to show you, you do just a little bit at a time with these applications. You don't need a lot of glue. There. Now we got to figure out, do we want to add something here and here? We could almost add those little pearls that I had. Let me see if I can find those. Hold on, let me go. I found the little beads, or, yeah, pearls. That's kind of pretty. Adding them just a little bit there. Or, what about this? You can add it this way. Like this, and it gives it a little more finished look. And you know it would be kind of cool too. I'm not sure if you need it though, but let me show you. You could make it so the dress has some, whoops, pearls attached to the back. So if we did this and brought it right here, it'll look like she's got a pearl choker on, like that. And I also have these real mini tiny cameos. We could always put one on there too. So we got to figure out, I think I'm not gonna add the pearls to the sleeve in case we add it to the other. I'm just gonna add this pink. It's very pale pink. And I just got to see which direction we like. I think I like it going with the sleeve, the direction the sleeve is going. So this one I'm going to try to use this Fabri-Tac glue. Not Fabri-Tac, it's 4-in-1. It is Beacon. So we're going to add it. Let me see which is right, which is wrong. And I don't even think it really matters. Yep, I want it this way. So that's kind of weird right there. So I'm going to start it. So let me zoom it in a little. I'm going to start it so I have the three hills right here. And then I'll trim that piece off the end. I've got everything sticking to me now. And my husband gave me some really good wipes, which I don't know where he might have taken them to the garage, and I'll link them below. If you don't feel like going in and washing your hands from your studio, unless you have one in your studio, they're really cool. So that just kind of gives it a little finish to it. So let me do the other side. I'm still thinking we're going to add something on top of this. I like to do things in 3s, and or 6s, in odd numbers. And there are really only 2 on the bottom. So I'm going to play around and see. I do kind of like this one right here. But I want to see too how that little simple one looks on there to see if it kind of ties it together some more. So what if we, oop, my fingers have way too much glue on them. And I'd want to point it up. I have so much stuff here, guys. I'm, like I said, working on these packets. And I think you're going to be very happy with them. Yes. I think we found winner, winner, chicken dinner. What do you think? That just kind of ties it all in. So I'm going to go ahead and glue that down. Okay, ladies. Here is my dress. The only thing I should have done is added a little more lace on this side and tucked it under on this side. But I can always, if I wanted to, kind of pinch it and tuck it under. So it doesn't look, so it looks finished. So this is my design team project for Odulcina Scrap. And I'm going to try to also implement this possibly in a journal for you using some of Anne's papers. And I want to glue that in because I think that looks beautiful on that hanger. But you want to see that hanger. It's so pretty. I hate to use it. I don't have many. There. I can glue that down with the glue gun. And then we'll be finished. And I like it because it's nice and simple, but so pretty and shabby chic. See, the more I look at it, I could add so much more. That's too much pink. I could, if I really wanted to, I could add another lace trim going this direction. See, you can keep adding, or if I wanted to bring out and show her gorgeous fabrics, but if you didn't want to do that and you wanted to keep adding, you could even do, you know, some ugly fabric underneath and just keep layering your laces and just bring them right up. You could do that, and you don't have to have this the same color as that. There's so much you can do with this. So, ladies, I'm going to actually take a little break now and start working on my Etsy page. And as soon as I have that done, I will give you guys the links. Have a fantastic day. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.